The Exorcist, 1973. The film tells the story of a 12-year-old girl named Reagan who is possessed by a demonic spirit. Her mother, worried about her daughter's strange and frightening behavior, seeks help from Catholic priests. Father Marin and Father Karras try to expel the evil spirit through the ritual of exorcism, but face the terrifying power of the demon. Reasons for the ban: religious themes, shocking scenes, psychological impact, claims of violence. It was banned in Singapore and Malaysia, the United Kingdom, some Muslim countries. The Hunger Games, 2012. The film unfolds in a post-apocalyptic future where the state of Panam is divided into 12 districts controlled by the wealthy capital. Each year, the capital holds a brutal reality show, The Hunger Games, in which 2 teenagers from each district are chosen to fight each other to the death. The main heroine Katniss Everdeen volunteers to take her younger sister's place in the games. During the battle, this challenges the cruelty of the system, becoming a symbol of rebellion. Reasons for the ban: depiction of violence, political subtext, influence on youth. It was banned in Vietnam, Thailand, Kuwait. From the Cannibals, 1980. The film is shot in a pseudo-documentary format. A group of documentarians goes to the Amazon jungle to film the lives of local tribes. They go missing, and after a while, a rescue expedition is sent that finds the group's filmed footage. The footage reveals a shocking truth. The documentarians themselves provoked acts of violence, destroying villages and insulting the locals for the sake of dramatic shots. However, they soon become victims of the cannibals themselves. Reasons for the ban: realistic violence. The film depicted scenes of violence so realistically that many believed the actors actually died in set. Cruelty to animals, ethical and cultural issues. It was banned in Italy, the United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, Norway, Germany, Singapore, and many other countries. The Da Vinci Code. At the center of the plot is the investigation by Professor Robert Langdon and cryptologist Sophie Neveu, who uncover a mystery related to a secret kept by the Catholic Church. The film is based on the novel of the same name by Dan Brown and raises the topic of the Holy Grail, claiming that Mary Magdalene was the wife of Jesus Christ and their descendants are alive today. Reason for the ban: the film provoked sharp criticism from the Catholic Church and several Christian organizations. It was accused of blasphemy, distortion of historical and religious facts, and inciting hate threat towards Christianity. The film was banned in Iran, Jordan, and the Philippines. That the Vatican officially condemned the film, although there was no direct ban. Borat, 2006. Director Larry Charles. The main character, Bora Sigdiev, a reporter from a fictional version of Kazakhstan, goes to the USA to study the cultural characteristics of America. Along the way, he meets many people, provokes them with inappropriate questions, gets into ridiculous situations, and marks American values as well as stereotypes. Simultaneously, the film mocks the bias and ignorance existing in both cultures. Reason for the ban: criticism, distortion of Kazakhstan's image. In the film, Kazakhstan is depicted as a primitive country with archaic and coarse customs. The authorities of Kazakhstan considered these an insult to national honor and perceived the film as a provocation, a satire on religious and cultural themes, with obscene scenes. The film was banned in Kazakhstan, Russia, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, and Indonesia. Serbian film, 2010. The film tells the story of Milos, a former porn star who agrees to star in an art house project for money. However, he soon realizes he is becoming part of a terrible and brutal film, including scenes of violence, murder, and other horrors. Reasons for the ban: extreme content, moral, ethical outrage, political motives. Banned in Germany, Serbia, Norway, Brazil, and many other countries. Monty Python's Life of Brian, 1979. The satirical comedy tells the story of Brian Cohen, who was born in Bethlehem on the same day as Jesus Christ and is constantly accidentally mistaken for the Messiah. Brian becomes involved in anti-Roman movements, encounters fanatical followers and absurd situations, ultimately ending up on the cross. Reasons for the ban: accusations of blasphemy. Some countries feared the film could incite social unrest among religious groups. Criticism of traditional religious stories and characters was perceived as direct mockery of faith. Who's That in Orion? United Kingdom, South Africa, and the United States. Dictator, 2012. The film tells the story of General Admiral Aladdin, the dictator of the fictional North African country Wadia. Aladdin is an eccentric, tyrannical leader who eliminates all dissenters but unexpectedly is betrayed by his uncle. Having lost power, he finds himself in the United States where he has to adapt to life as an ordinary person. Reasons for the ban: political satire, offense to real leaders, obscenities, provocations. Was Bendi in Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Belarus, Kuwait, and Pakistan. The Human Centipede. The film tells the story of a mad German surgeon, Dr. Heiter, who kidnaps 3 people to perform his gruesome experiment. He joins their bodies into one centipede by sewing their mouths and digestive systems together. The experiment is accompanied by shocking details in the victim's suffering. The reasons for the ban: hit was extreme vin. The film is filled with scenes of torture process, which could discuss an orgy, faga and orgium da sonata. Ethic and moral objections: realistic scenes of violence. It was banned in the United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, and Germany. Being flamingos. 1972, the film is about the rivalry of eccentric criminals for the title of the most disgusting people in the world. The film is full of scenes that shock viewers: cannibalism, violence, and even a real scene where a character eats dog excrement. The reason for the ban: offensive and provocative content, violation of public norms. It was banned in Australia, Norway, Canada, and the United Kingdom. He and his film Genekosters to its flamboyant were to it despite initial dance, it became a symbol of independent and radical cinema. The gods must be crazy. 1980, the action of the film unfolds in the Kalahari Desert. The main character is a bushman named Jeek, living in harmony with nature. His world turns upside down when a Coca-Cola bottle, thrown from a plane, falls from the sky. Quinty Stripe, who have never seen anything like it, perceive the bottle as a gift from the gods, but soon it becomes the course of conflicts. Deciding that the bottle brought a curse, Chico sets out to return it to the gods, encountering the world of modern technology, political intrigues, and absurd situations. Reasons for the ban: political implications, depiction of indigenous peoples. Some thought that the Bushmen were shown in a derogatory light. Was banned in Botswana, China, Cuba, and some African countries. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 1974, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A group of young people travels through Texas and encounters a family of cannibals living in an isolated house. Among them stands out a character named Leatherface, who wears a mask made of human skin and uses a chainsaw to kill his victims. The film is filled with tension, horror, and an atmosphere of hopelessness, becoming a cult classic in the slasher genre. Reasons for the ban: depiction of violence and brutality. Although the violence in the film is often implied rather than shown, the realistic filming style shocked viewers. Some scenes seem too explicit. Psychological impact: notorious reputation. The film was marketed as based on real events, which only amplified its scandalous nature. It was banned in the United Kingdom, Australia, Sweden, Norway, and Germany. Clockwork Orange, 1971, director Stanley Kubrick. The film is based on the novel of the same name and tells of the brutal dystopia. The main character, Alex, a teenager with sadistic tendencies, leads a gang of hooligans. They commit robberies and extra violence for their own pleasure. Alex ends up in prison, where he agrees to participate in an experimental rehabilitation program, a method that turns him into a person incapable of violence. However, the deprivation of free will leads to tragic consequences. Reasons for the ban include scenes of violence, accusations of imitation. After the film's release in the United Kingdom, there was an increase in crimes similar to those depicted in the movie. This caused fear that the film inspires youth to violence. Contradictory philosophical ideas. Some critics felt that the film romanticizes a criminal lifestyle and questions traditional moral values. It was banned in the United Kingdom, Ireland, Singapore, and South Korea. If you want to discuss this video or suggest an idea for the next one, join to my channel